Aloha, aloha, happy Blue Flame 2024. As we head into another amazing year coming here in Austria this season. We are teaching here in Austria. Our third workshop is tomorrow, but we will be back home in Alaska at the end of the month. So loving you all, missing you all, and we have so many people going to download this call today. So I want to just say thank you for coming and all of you who are joining us for the first time. This is our 12th annual Blue Flame Planetary Grid Ceremony. And I think that I'm so excited to share something with my team of grid point leaders who are doing this at the most advanced level of the ceremony. We have beginners who are new to the experience, and they just get the prayer and the 62 different points around the earth to pray for. They can do that all at once. Amba, oh, I'm so excited that you're here. Woo, this is the first time you've come on. Woo, this is so exciting. So, I want to say to you, if you're a beginner in the Blue Flame Planetary Grid Ceremony, we are so grateful to have you. We have new people coming in this year from the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, the Netherlands, Norway, Hungary, Sweden, Austria, Australia. And it's interesting that we're in Europe right now, and so many new people are coming in from Europe. So I just thank you for that. And then, of course, our team here in Alaska, New York, several places in New York, California, Texas, more in California, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, Washington, Sedona, Florida, Colorado. These are just the newbies coming in.
Right, and a big shout out to our sister organization, Adam Center in Anchorage, with Don Kelly and Dave, my beloved Dave. It's so wonderful that you have been part of this from the get-go and still doing it with all your love and passion.
Laura, wonderful. I was hoping you would make it. This is just such a sweet reunion. So I just want to start with, I love you all, and it's great to see you. And we have had some news of the Blue Flame this year that I think is the most exciting thing to share with you. From all of our years, we have 12 years we've been doing this ceremony for the planet, guided by the grandmothers and grandfathers. They gave this ceremony in detail to help us with this incredible transit that we're in. Some people thought the end of the chapter was 2012. But the Mayan calendar is off by the Gregorian by 8 years. So, of course, we figured that out at 2020 when the doors all shut and we all were inside. And we figured out that this was really the moment. So since then, we've changed the Blue Flame just a little bit to go along with that pulse change to really help to protect us during this transition, especially in the year to come of what is opening for us now. So I wanted to just, maybe you can, Michaela and I have done this so many years together, but you know, your birthright and name, of course, is Michael. And I just love the Blue Flame because it's the flame of Archangel Michael. And we were given this flame of all of the flames, and there are many sacred flames we all know of if we've done any light work, from the violet flame and many flames we could be working with. This was the one instructed to us. So I'd like you to just briefly say something about the Blue Flame so that everybody's on the same page if you haven't been here before, and what that really means for us.
The Blue Flame has 4 specific key qualities, and that is truth, transparency, divine will, and very important, renewal. Renewal for Mother Earth and us as human beings living on Mother Earth. when we're in a state of renewal, we are automatically in a state of inner peace. And I believe that the word peace is a very important intention for these next couple of years, for us as light workers, and really feeling that peace around the world and also in our own lives. So this flame has a quality. It's a sword of truth. It is like that sword of Archangel Michael that we know from the depictions in the ancient arts. There is a strength to it where it cuts through illusions. It cuts through the false systems on the planet. And time again, all of you who have celebrated this ceremony with us for so many years, we have seen the shedding of false systems on the planet. We have predicted them, and we have seen in hindsight, oh, we forecasted such and such for this coming year, and indeed this happened. I mean, we have witnessed that, and I know that all of you feel this to be true. And that power is a power that slices through those systems and the illusions, and yet it does provide us with the sense of renewal. I mean, all these keywords together are, it's almost like, okay, if the truth is very strong, because truth can be a strong quality, right? You have to actually sometimes breathe that in or integrate that. But then at the same time, I have the resource of renewal, or I have the resource of, okay, this is divine will, even though maybe on the human level, it's a disaster, but there's a divine quality to it. So those are the 4 keywords about the blue flame, and it's the reason why we are specifically working with that.
And also, I'd like to say that the web around the earth is considered a blue web. Metatron calls it the acromonin. So it's, even our televisions long ago were a blue screen. This is a blue light web that surrounds our planet. So this color, of course, is very, very powerful. And as we enter the Mayan calendar for this year, which changed on July the 26th of this year, we moved into blue rhythmic storm year. We're going to talk about that in this call. So we couldn't be even more aligned this year to the energy of what the blue flame is all about. Now, it's for those of us that are not living in alignment, it can be a very, very difficult flame to work with, such as our global situation where we have many lies and deceptions that are being made transparent. And this is the flame that kind of says, you can't do your bullshit any further than here. This is the line. And what it does is allows all of us to come into truthful authenticity. And anything we're doing and contributing to the lack of alignment and truth will be revealed, because that energy is being misused against life. And so it's being called up by this flame that is so strong. Now, the white fire is like the next level. That's even stronger than the blue flame. And we know this even from welding, what the blue flame is all about when we weld. So the white fire is almost too much for humans to deal with. And so the blue flame is something we've been working with. We've also wanted to say that we utilize it in all the elements, because of course we're dealing with places on the earth that are dealing with fires. And like in Israel, you can't really talk about fire. You can't talk about it in Jasper right now, and many places on the planet would not be doing a fire ceremony, which is what our grid point leaders do for this day.
Meanwhile, if I may put you on pause for a second, meanwhile, we have major flooding going on right now outside the door here in Austria. So we have enormous amounts of rain coming down in the last 3 days. More than the soil can take. So very extreme phenomena.
Flame can be in any of those elements we can work with. The ones that we would want to resource, of course, is the warmth of the blue sky here in Austria because of the flooding. We have blue water. We have all of the elements we can work with. And also, this is not considered a physical fire so much, but a spiritual fire. And it's moving through us, especially this year. We're going to go into blue storm, rhythmic storm, and what that's going to feel like for us this year, as we enter that incredible fire of initiation. And I also want to say that we've worked with the blue music, and some of you have worked with solfeggio music, and this is considered the music of the web. It's not, people get tuning forks in solfeggio and they think, oh, they're the chakras. They're not chakras, those sounds. They are what feed the chakras. They're the energy of the blueprint of creation. So we work with this energy because we can work right at the dreaming level. And if you work in Aboriginal communities, they really understand what it means to change the dream or work in the dreaming. And I want to say that this year because we've had some really, really important things that I want to share with you about last year's notes. But first, I just want to cover, just for the beginners that are here, that you can join this ceremony on September 22nd, the equinox. We do it on that day every year because the weather in most parts of the world is not in the winter or too hot in the summer. So we have that midpoint that everyone who wants to do an outside ceremony can. We designed this, or the grandparents designed this, to be a fire ceremony where offerings are made into the fire for each part of the earth. Some people don't have that level of time or dedication, and so we've made beginner, intermediate, and advanced leaders now. And so if you're a beginner and just coming in for the first time, you've automatically received an email. If you haven't, just email us about those instructions, and they just are simply working with the blue flame prayer that was given to us and reading out each of these places on earth. You can do each place individually, meaning reading point number 1 and then reading the prayer, point number 2 and reading the prayer, etc. Or you could just read all of the points and then say the prayer once. Depends upon how much time is available to you. If you're coming in as an intermediate, we are allowing people, and we've done this for years as grid point leaders, to take notes on what they're experiencing when they pray for that one area of the world. And that takes more time because we tune in. We literally take a few minutes and tune in and take notes intuitively on what we're picking up is going on there this year. Or we might pick up what's this area of Mother Earth, what's this part of her body, what's its resource for the planet. And we have compiled those notes, and we're going to be talking about that for 12 years. We believe we have an intimate understanding of the energy field of Mother Earth from all of you. I can't thank you enough for that. It's exciting to present 12 years of notes to you this coming week in a 13-page document, about a paragraph per grid point, of the summary of the essence of the energies that each part of the world holds. And these were thematics that came through again and again in the notes. Last year, for example, we had the word regeneration come through the notes over and over and over again. So we know last year's theme was really about regeneration. And we also received, like every other R word that there was in that. We had last year, so these were the themes of last year: rebirth, resurrection, return, resilience, retreat, respite, renewal, release, resurgence, and resolution. All these are words that, to me, the word RE in front of a word means again. So we're like going through this new birth again, bringing that energy back to what I would call essence energy with Mother Earth, being in her vibration. So that's a very powerful theme that came through. And then our advanced leaders do the full day ceremony where they work with the grid tuning into the grid, making offerings into the fire, playing music all day. We've done these in Alaska, so nobody can tell me it's too cold where they are, because we've been out there in, fierce conditions on some years. I mean, really, we were like pouring rain and
Dave is laughing because he was often part of that, or
yeah.
probably always part of that,
Yeah,
when he
which is
wasn't with Adam in
Yes.
Anchorage.
So we devote the full day to Mother Earth, but not everybody has chosen to do that. So again, you can participate by just saying the prayer and reading those places on Earth, putting your hand on the paper and sending energy for 10 minutes, and we will be graciously appreciative. A couple of things that's helpful if you are going to do it, and in the beginner, intermediate, or advanced levels, we learned something in the first years of doing this ceremony. There are 62 planetary grid points, and this grid was created by Bill Becker and Beth Hagins, one is a anthropologist. And this came out of finding out that all the platonic solids, if you go back to science and remember that, are nestled inside our planet. And they started to realize on certain ones, like the icosahedron, for example, all the sacred sites of the world fell out of this shape. Then they worked with the tetrahedron and the dodecahedron, and all of these information started to come together of major waterways, major mountain ranges, all things were connected by that particular shape. So when they put them all together, where they overlapped, where they crossed, were these grid points. And so we've been working with that since the very beginning, 12 years ago, when the grandmothers first channeled this information to us. And I've had, those of you who are grid point leaders, if you paid for the telecourse that we do, we actually had interviews with Beth on many times. She's a wonderful person to interview about the grid. But now we have so much to share with her and the science community on what we've picked up about the grid. So we've learned that we go from, instead of reading the first grid point, which is in Giza in Egypt, that's the first grid point of the planetary grid, instead of going 1 to 62, which we did for the first maybe 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
And the ceremony took us like 10 hours, 12 hours, we were in it. But what we learned, and in fact, it was Michaela, it was you, who said, you know what? I think we should do it 62 to 1. We should go backwards, because that's the southern hemisphere first. And the way the numbers rotate in the planetary grid, now I could put a screen up, but I'm not going to do that right now. In the planetary grid is that the numbers go counterclockwise up the Earth, right? And that is how the Earth turns. So what we learned is that we were working against the grid those first years. We started in grid point 1, which is not only Giza, but it's Israel, the hot seat of the planet. And we were like pushing that ceremony. It was really tough. And then all of a sudden one year she was like, I think we should do it from Earthwise. And we went, oh my gosh. And the ceremony went in half the time. We started with all of the ocean points. Those are points that are in, most of our planet is ocean. So those points, those areas are in the ocean. All of a sudden the currents of the ocean were moving our ceremony. And we were like, gosh, this was such the teaching within the teaching, right? That we're trying to go in alignment with Mother Earth, and we were trying to do a clockwise spiral, which is solar. And so once we went Earthwise, the whole ceremony had its own life, and it really changed everything for us. So I wanted to tell you that, and some of you may know that, and some of you may not from the history of the ceremony, but it's really made a huge difference. So even if you're a beginner, read them backwards. Start with the last grid point and work your way forward in reading them, because then you will align to that energy inside yourself. In 2020, when the doors shut for the world, we got a message from the grandparents that we needed protection. And within the planetary grid, we were told, and actually it was 2019, I was 21 days in the hospital in a near-death experience. And while I was suspended there, the grandfathers came to me and started blah, 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 blah. And I thought maybe I've had too much anesthesia, but they were really downloading and showing me as a Vitruvius connecting points on the grid like this. And it started to tell me about the pentagram or pentagon, that we needed to do 5 points at a time in the shape of a pentagram. And this was horizontally through the planet. So we would be connecting places on the opposite side of the planet. And we did that for 2 years in a row. It was very powerful. And we started to see how one part of the planet was balancing the other in the way we were doing that ceremony. So for 2 years, we were guided to do the pentagram. And if you know the pentagram or pentagon, it's in our own government, it is a symbol of protection. In ancient paganism, also, you know, a sheriff's badge is a 5-pointed star. So they're the protectors. And the last 2 years, well, this will be our second year, we've been asked to do hexagons of the grid. And those of you that are beginner and an intermediate, this is way over your head. You don't need to do it. You just read those points and say the prayer, either after each point or read all the points at once and say it once if you don't have more time. But we spend a lot more time in ceremony with crystals on the grid. We do a lot of things. We set up a full mandala of the 9-pointed star to connect us into the grid for the entire day. So please don't say, oh, this is TMI, I'm not going to join this ceremony, it's too much. You do it at the level that you're ready to do it at. So I'm very excited, Monday or Tuesday of this coming week. If you put your email in the chat box, in case I don't have it, I will make sure that all of you, beginners as well as our grid point leaders, get this present that I've spent 12 years on, all of the summary of the essence of these areas of the world and what their energies are, so that you can have that as a permanent thing to pray with. Oh, I'm so excited about that and our grid points here in Alaska. So I'd like to do one final thing from last year, and then we will move on to this year's theme and everything else. Some of you have watched, and again, I'll send this to everyone here, the notes or the post call we had. We always have a call before the ceremony, and we have a call after the ceremony. Once we compile all the notes from the leaders that they've put in a database that we have. So intermediates and advanced, they enter all of their notes into this database, and then we do a summary and we do a call to help you know the forecast for the year. Now, what was interesting is last year, we extrapolated all 10 of the hexagons that we work with around the planet, and we only highlighted the grid points that had a prophecy or prediction in them, that somebody said, oh, a volcano is going to erupt here, or there's going to be a famine, or there's going to be a new discovery for healing plastics in the ocean. We've gotten amazing notes. I have to congratulate our grid point leaders and our intermediates. I'm going to put this in a 90-second Instagram tomorrow. Because it's just so exciting. We had 28 points of the grid of the 64 that we had predictions, that some group had a prophecy that they got during that. And many of you are part of that are sitting here. For example, grid point 34 in the Galapagos, somebody said there's a new volcano rising from the ocean floor and there's an eruption. And indeed, that did happen in 2024. So that was completely predicted and happened. We had earthquakes. Every earthquake and tsunami that was predicted happened. We had someone say there would be an accident in the Indian Ocean. It happened. The removal of microplastics, a new discovery that just recently happened also. And in the areas of the world that these grid points were, okay? Somebody on the Russian grid point said there's going to be a huge explosion of wind power. And I read the article that Russia is doing, I don't know, 6 megahertz or whatever the big amounts are of wind power and renewable energy in 24. So that was an explosion that happened there. So all of these, of 28 predictions, and I haven't really finished this document, 18 of them were facts for 2024. 18 out of 28.
amazing.
Now there might be more. I just didn't have enough time before this meeting to see if every single one. Now, what I will say about that, let's breathe that in as grid point leaders. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That tells us that our intuitive relationship with Mother Earth is in alignment. We are picking up her vibration and what's going on in a future timeline. So what does that say that we're possible and able to do is we're able to affect the future timeline through our prayer. If we can pick up what's happening, we can also resource into the grid. And that also happened here in these very hexagons. The most solid shape that there is the hexagon or the beehive. So when we did the grid points this way, we were creating that structure. And what happened is this, of course, there were several grid points within every one of them. And somebody would pick up the challenge, like the famine, and somebody else would say the resource. And this happened over and over and over again in the notes, where somebody was picking up the challenge and someone was picking up the resource. So what I'd like to invite you to do as you're picking up things that are going to be going on in this year, year is going to be a storm, and it's predicted in the Mayan count as that tumultuous lightning, thunder, everything that breaks the ego open and brings us to our true essence, anything that's still left. It's a very, very intense energy coming through with the blue flame this year. And if we stay in alignment, we can not only let go and navigate, allow this to happen, to pull away from ourselves or any of our community. And it's not comfortable. You know, storm years are not comfortable years for the human condition, but for the spiritual awakening, they are the highest thing that can happen for us. They're really moving us to drop all of the things that we're attached to and come into our true essence as spiritual beings of light. So as we move through the grid this year, I want you to consider if you're picking up on the pulse of things, what is the resource that you can place into that part of the grid when you're working for the ceremony? And all the way through the year for our grid point leaders, we work with these energies all year long. And you will get the same kind of document, which was like themes of the year. And we summarize the themes of each of the hexagons and the key points within that hexagon that really had some significant information. And we'll do that again this year. So make sure you step into that post call. And if you miss any of these calls, you can always request the information. We're just so busy that we just don't always think of everyone's name that wants it and this kind of thing. So please feel free to always email us if you want to get some of this information. And if you Google the Blue Flame Planetary Grid Ceremony in YouTube, you'll see all of our previous videos of all of our work that we've put up. So that's so wonderful. Great. So I just want to enter what we've been picking up for this year's theme and give you a little bit of information about the Blue Storm year and then just open it up, because I don't want this to be a really long call, because so much of the information is given to you in PDFs and audios and everything of how to step into this year's ceremony. And you know, if you're a beginner, it's simple. If you're intermediate, you're taking notes and it's simple. And if you're a grid point leader, you're doing a more involved ceremony with us and really being part of this inner circle that's gathering the data and really tuning in for the year. So this is for, go ahead, this is for this year.
So on September 22nd of 2024, we will be in the year Blue Rhythmic Storm, which has begun on July 26th. And this is the electric deer third moon. And the kin is 77, red crystal earth. The crystal tone of cooperation. And the solar seal is earth or Kaban. And the affirmation that contains the essence of all those qualities is this one. I dedicate in order to evolve, universalizing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of universal water. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. Take a breath. And as you breathe, I will read it one more time so you can really feel that. I dedicate in order to evolve, universalizing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of universal water. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me.
Very powerful, very powerful. And you know, line by line, I'd like to just enter that, because first of all, red earth. And red earth is the red crystal earth, right?
Yes.
Red crystal earth. The red earth is the access point to your natural alignment with the earth, okay? A perfect centeredness in the eternal present from which all alignment and magic manifest. Your center, the earth center, is the secret of gravity's magnetizing force of synchronicity. Red earth is the channel or harmonic synchronization that is aligned with the galactic heart. This is very important. From the center point within the self, you align with this galactic center and connect through your own crystalline structure to the larger crystalline grid network. To keep this channel of synchronization open, connect to the elemental energies of earth, air, fire, and water, and the 7 directional guardians. We have done this and we've just talked about it, and we said the blue fire is not just that, it's all the elements, is that in the packet you have a prayer to the elementals that you can always add to this ceremony, because it's very important to involve them, the elementals of your body elementals, to help you as you navigate Blue Storm and to help the planet to navigate Blue Storm. So this red crystal earth, I think, is so important because it's talking about the crystalline grid now and getting us onto the Homo Luminous song sheet. So it's having to spin us out a bit and do a centrifuge so we can come onto that grid, that we can come into that synchronicity. And really what we called spiritual sensuality some years back, and worked with that theme one year, just really come into that natural essence space when everything else is kind of moving in chaos. So one line at a time, because I think that's really our guardian into the year.
I dedicate in order to evolve.
And what are we dedicating? dedicating to that frequency of Mother Earth. That's all we need to do. The frequency of her heart and the galactic heart. That's it.
Universalizing synchronicity.
That everything will happen in total synchronicity if we do that. That's it. We just align, dedicate ourselves in order to evolve.
I seal the matrix of navigation.
How I'm going to travel through this.
With the crystal tone of cooperation.
Finding, what we have in common, coming together in a space of sovereignty, divine sovereignty, divine authority, in cooperation with other sovereign beings.
I'm guided by the power of universal water.
To me, that's coming really deeply from our emotional body, right? The power of water. Following how we feel and moving from within.
I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me.
And that, I feel the water is very important because blue storm can be very intense in fire. And so for us to stay cool through this experience. There's a lot of hot topics going on, a lot of hot issues, a lot of hot politics. And for us, it's that pliableness of water that we can follow the gravity of that feeling inside our navel so that we can move from within. We can follow that synchronicity flow. And of course, it's a portal day. That's why it says, I'm a galactic activation portal, enter me. So I'd like you to read it now, and everybody just close their eyes and say it to themselves as we enter that ceremony on that day. You can have this, you can go on the Zolkin and get this copy for yourself and open your ceremony with it.
I dedicate in order to evolve. Universalizing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of universal water. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me.
Now I'd like to just open it up for a few minutes of sharing. And then I'm going to close it with you hearing what this blue rhythmic storm year will open for us. And for all of you to tune into this as the theme for this year. Now the theme will emerge from our notes really, but I always like to set an intention for the year of Blue Flame. And we've had many wonderful years of intention work. 2018 was Resource and Resonance. 2019 was Kina Ole and Aloha E. 2020 was Spiritual Sensuality. 21 was Exploring Freedom Within Sacred Space. 22 was Home. 2023 was Liberation. And this year, I've been guided to 2 words for our intention. One is sovereignty, and the other is self-actualization. So we went from a lot of R words last year that came up in the grid, right? Regeneration and renewal and all that. Now I've come up with 2 S words. And of course, in the S words is a serpent, because an S is a serpent. So this is Kundalini energy, and how important it is that we honor each other's truth as we navigate this. That's personal sovereignty, that indigenous sovereignty to Mother Earth and all living beings, and follow that which is right for us, and honoring what's right for others, even if we totally disagree. That we have to really listen to that. And that was very, very important as we navigated the last couple of years. And I just really wanted to claim that sovereignty and that self-actualization this year. So anyone want to pop in and say hello? And
Dawn, please.
yeah.
Go right ahead.
Are you unmuting? Okay, I got it. Okay, well, great. I'm super excited again this year to participate in the Blue Flame. I think we were part of the original ones, and our grid keepers number 7, 6, 7. We were 6, 7. We're handling Alaska. We got Alaska.
We're so bonded that we don't even know who's who now.
We have 2 in Alaska, and we just pass it back.
I noticed 3 of us on the call are Alaskan, so yay, Alaska. But we are the crown chakra up here too, so that's super important. But one of the things when you were mentioning too, for me, what has come up is out of this world feels turbulent and chaotic. But what comes out of chaos? Order, and then sovereignty also interprets to me freedom, self-freedom, personal freedom, soul freedom, right? We've been in prison for so long. And so I really believe that we're really at the verge of breaking out of our own personal and humanity freedom and earth freedom. So anyway, we're excited to do I'm doing it with Dave this year. We've got it down. Our ceremony inside last year was so powerful, and we're going to just do a repeat of it, covering all of the elements. We've got a big pyramid, which is, I love the fact that number 1 is the Giza Plateau and the pyramid. And we have a huge copper pyramid that goes right in the middle of our grid. And we've got every point covered with a candle. The map is projected on the wall. And anyway, we're ready for it, right, David? I'm excited about it. Fantastic. And anyway, I'll look forward to your download on the internet so we can pump up our group, and that's about it. But I think the work we do is super important. So I hope you'll come and join us if you're not somewhere else, and we got this for sure. So thank you for that. And then I will be leaving here, so I'll be carrying my phone because I've got a 9:30 appointment. So if I lose you, that's why I wanted to go first. But love you all, love the work that we're doing, and we're here.
Yeah, I love you, and we are so excited to hear about your excitement, and couldn't be more thankful to you and the whole Adam beautiful family. And yes, Anne, it would be wonderful, first of all, wonderful to see you again, my darling, and your beautiful work that you're doing at Adam. And I hope you might have an opportunity to join Dave and Dawn and the whole group.
And our dear loving friend, Melinda, will be here in spirit with us. We know that for sure.
Absolutely. Watch out for some magic.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And David is a powerhouse in himself, let me tell you.
As a matter of fact, one of the things I'm going to do this year at the ceremony is that last drum that she built was named Horizons.
Oh, wow.
And we will be using that at the ceremony.
Wow. How beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, I guess that will be a wonderful ceremony.
Oh,
that's it for me. Thank you.
Great. Jump in, everybody jump in.
Hello. So Laura from Calgary,
Yes.
Alberta, Canada. Hello. Although I am grid point 9 keeper, I haven't done the more complex ceremonies last few years. So hopefully that's still okay, because it won't be outside with fire. What I've done the last few years is used my drum, my mother drum. I'm carrier of a mother drum, and we use the heartbeat of the drum to create that vortex. So Solite, Golden One was given, I was given a spirit guide when I did my medicine wheel with you,
Yes.
White Eagle, on the shores of Hawaii, Tono Mahe. And I didn't realize at that point that I was going to be a drum keeper. And I was told when I received the drum in Australia with White Eagle that that was actually the spirit keeper for the drum, and it creates the clockwise and counterclockwise vortex, which is two directional. It goes down into the ground and it goes up and kind of showers over. So that's what I'll be doing. I don't know how many people will be with me this year. It will probably be a small group. And I know that wherever two or more are gathered, there is an incredible power. And even if I'm in my living room on my own, which I've done in some of the years past, I'm connected into the complete planetary grid. And not just the physical people, but all the helpers that are assisting us in the unseen realm. So I've affirmed that it doesn't matter what the situation is. I claim the full power. And interestingly, although I have a chosen name of Alara Payton through numerology, my birth name adds up to 77. So that's really cool.
Oh.
And I'm a white spectral wizard in the Tolkien calendar. And I'm also a portal. That's a galactic portal enter me. So going, wow, this is really powerful. And I believe I'm what people call a Blu-ray, not an indigo, but a Blu-ray. So this feels like a really powerful year to join in. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes. It's
Thank
so
you.
good to see you. It's
Yeah.
really great to see you and hear your voice and bring back all these wonderful memories. And yeah, we work with, of course, sound, all of us in one form or the other. We're community drum keepers working with solfeggio, all of the above, singing throughout the entire thing. This is what it's all about. We really get, for me, I get so much more information when I'm singing. Like, I'm really receptive. And we've gotten beautiful songs given during the ceremonies. I've been thinking about them as I was going through the notes, and we've also gotten codes. And if you do get codes, please send them in, because I'm my next juicy thing is I'd like to make like almost like a deck of the 62 points and the codes that we've received for
Great idea.
for them, because some people are not verbal notes, but they'll see a code. And remember, Jarena would always see a code. So we have many of them in our notes, and I can't enter those into the database. So I'm figuring out how I'm going to bring those forward. But yes, you know, this was a framework given to us, and we've all gotten creative to how we've transformed the ceremony to really be as powerful as it can be for us and our groups. And I totally applaud that. I'm an Aquarian, I'm all about freedom. So we've got to have flexibility in the way we do it. And I love doing the fire ceremony. That's been my favorite for many, many years. So I continue to love that. So wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wonder, is it all right? I'm getting an urge to give a light language blessing. Is that all right?
Thank
Yes.
you.
Ishukuri mira sarki ala korkikin mara korkikin nini kirkitin ma. Sorusha aleli lilikun mana senanai. Ine shikiri indar shukurke toke indar kiskin mara skuli ilskika inde eo shukurka mente konda sikiri isi tutatai isakano konda isikurko inshinda e sokre ai unkotare e tutatawi shukuni.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Every hair was standing on
Yeah.
my body, every single hair.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's the galactic grid. It was the first sounds of the galactic grid. Thank you. Thank you.
I picked up new light language after 2 arcs of light ships went over the place that I was house sitting a few years ago. So it's been interesting to be okay with all the new light languages that are coming through versus what I had when I sang Grandmother Drum off the truck in Pisac in 2011. So yeah, there's so much goodness happening in the midst of the turmoil.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
so happy to be here live. What a blessing. Oh my gosh. So I'm Amba, Aliana, and this will be my 6th year to be a Grid Point ceremonial leader. And we are hosting in Lenox, Massachusetts, along the beautiful Willow Creek. And actually, I have a serpent dragon who is the guardian of this creek here. And the ley line that I'm on, it runs all the way through New York into the Sacred Falls, the
Niagara.
Niagara
Yeah.
Falls. It runs to Niagara Falls, and then through the great grandmother tree of Bears Lodge in Wyoming, all the way into Salt Lake in Utah, and then through San Francisco, and then it meets and it runs all the way to Hawaii, the ley line I live on, and then into Uluru. And it's fascinating because the sacred point that we hold here is Grid Point 33, which is off the end of Hawaii, between Hawaii and Mexico. And I just am so grateful for all of you. And this is just such a gift to be a part of this ceremony. Every year, it's just so beautiful and so transformative. And it's so fascinating because primarily my groups, I guess what we do is we're interdimensional light workers and song weavers and song catchers. So we are chanting and receiving the vibrational sound codes of the song lines and reharmonizing them, and then bringing in the medicines that are needed, that are being requested by the earth to heal those specific places. And the songs that we've been getting have just been incredible. And one year I did it just myself because I just wanted to be able to record the songs that I have all of these incredible songs of the grid recorded, and I want to get them out, but of course that I will at some point get those to you. And the song last year that came through in our group. So I did end up recording some of the songs that came through last year in our group, and I will send it to you because it goes sovereign and free, we choose to be sovereign and free, we choose to be. And so it's just so beautiful that that is the kind of the theme of this year, of creating that sovereignty within all humanity, that we are, divine beings, and we're choosing that sovereignty. Feels really like a good place to continue to anchor in. And
I'd love to have it for my ceremony. I'd love to sing it.
yeah, I'll send you the clip over that I have. The video, I guess, yeah, I'll send that wave over to you. And this year we have a group. So it's nice because I do a fire ceremony right next to the river. It's like right there. So there's a balance between both of the elements that take place here on this sacred land. And we kind of get wild. The first year I did it, I had people dressing up in costumes, which I didn't expect. And I was kind of uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is everybody doing? Like, why are they dressing up? And then last year, it was your request from Sierra to have us dress up. So it felt really, really good to have that lightheartedness too. I think that is part of what also brings a great depth, and is to also remember that yes, we are doing this beautiful ceremony and we're praying and we're giving thanks and we're doing all this healing and for self and for the world, but the joy is just so important to keep that there.
Absolutely.
We always have a lot of music going on. We have some people in our Homer community that are real professionals, and they all love to bring their guitars and their harps and drums.
Wow.
We really go for it every year, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of music has come out. In fact, Josh and Michelle's Home, which our theme was for 2022, really like got birthed at the Blue Flame
Yeah.
ceremony, and that's a gorgeous song. I'll have to remember to send you the link to their song. That's absolutely gorgeous. So we love it to bring as much music in
Well,
as
thank you
possible.
so much, Amber.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anne or Laura? Laura, is that Laura Santorino? Who is that behind the curtain? Oh, there's so many Lauras in our circle.
I don't know if you can hear me, can you?
Yes.
You can't see me. So we're in Scotland.
Yes.
So we started off doing the Grid Point 11 quite a few years ago. And we've had a bit of a break. So I thought we'd come back as an intermediate this time and see if we can get a wee group going again.
Oh, thank you. Thank
We
you.
came from something you had a long time ago down at Silbury.
David McCarthy.
Oh yeah, and David McCarthy's here as well.
Yes, I remember.
When you were doing the tour, it was wonderful. So yeah, try to kind of take inspiration from that, really. It will probably be raining because it's always raining here.
Yeah.
So we'll try to incorporate that. If it's dry, we've got a herd of Mustangs, so we'll probably go out and invite them to join in if it's not too wet outside.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I love your accent.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so wonderful. Thank you. So wonderful. I feel done.
Yeah. Wow, that's just wonderful. I love that area of the world, and just knowing you're there is going to make me so happy when the ceremony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. We have the old country. Lots of it, the old country. Yeah, wonderful. That was such an amazing tour. And here we are. We were back in Austria teaching.
Yeah.
And literally it was 10 years ago, 11 years ago when we did the first world tour here, and these two got together.
On a different level.
On a different level. Yeah, that was just like unexpected turn
But we
of
were
events.
activating in your area. We were at Stonehenge, at Avebury, Silbury Hill.
Yes, he was there.
Yeah. We're waiting for you to come back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, wow. So we got to get songs from everybody, and please take pictures. We love putting them up on the Facebook page for everybody to share. Anything and everything that you experience is joyful for us. And we will send you the link if you didn't already get it. For those that are taking notes, please, we love them because it really helps us to understand what's happening. And my gift back is years of work to compile them for you. That'll be coming out to you next week, so you can have that to tune in as well if you want. And any intuition about anything you're picking up in the grid, let us know.
I would Anne, if you are at all part of this, I would love for you to help with animal totems in the notes, because you're so gifted on that.
Yeah.
Any animal totems for this coming year, or certain grid points or certain hexagons, we would kindly appreciate that.
Yes.
I would love for Dave to give us your final words, please, for this coming year.
I am definitely looking forward to this, and I think it will be a significant part of my integration on this new path I'm on right now.
Wonderful.
So we
Thank
close
you.
out with the blue rhythmic storm.
I have something that, as I was doing the light language, I've been working with dragon energy. Well, they've been working with me the last couple of years, and there's this wonderful circle of dragon energy that has arisen throughout this, and the unicorns. And they told me a couple of years ago they are here to be redeemed from the dark roles that they were snared into with the dark programming. And they are just, yeah, they wouldn't, I was not going to say anything, but they said, no, please let everyone know we're here. They're here and they're solid, and they're very much a part of the preparation leading up to and in the vortex and afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what's
Thank
important,
you. Thank
what's
you.
really important about that, and if many of you do or do not know the medicine, some of the medicine will work, but the medicine of the East, or the animal medicine, is the mythical animals. And this is a year of blue storm. It's a year of fire initiation. And when we have to go from one reality to another, only these animals, these mythical beings, these fire beings can help us do it. That's their totemic power, is when everything's incinerated, when everything is burned down in our lives, they're the ones that we embody their medicine, and they carry us to our promised land, which is our own light, our own inner lights, our own inner fire, that we really just take the burnishing of the false self systems of ourselves, because each and every one of us carry that to be offered during this year. So that's very important for me to hear.
Thank you.
And they're dancing. As you say that, there's a lot of, they can be very stoic, but they're also, I can see them dancing. They're so excited about the possibilities.
Yeah.
So blue rhythmic storm as our closing, so that you understand what this year is about, and you can surrender to that cooperation. Catalyst, transformer, liberator, activation for ascension, purification, light body, transformation, reunion, thunder beings, lightning path, initiation by fire, ecstasy of freedom, self-generation. Blue storm is the initiation by fire, the lightning path, the arrival of the thunder beings who bring the final transformation. To the Maya, blue storm represents the storm, the thundercloud full of purifying rain, and the lightning that shatters any false structuring of reality. Blue storm is the purification of the body temple. Those of us who are doing cleansing, keep it up. And the ignition of the light body. In these last years of a 26,000-year Mayan grand cycle, blue storm comes to help you in the disintegration process that moves you from separation to ascension. This initiation by fire breaks any false containers of self that cannot withstand the flame of transmutation. Only your true identity will live through these fires, for you will be reborn in the here of all that is. Blue storm provides the water that purifies and quenches your spiritual thirst. In this state of consciousness, you stand willing to surrender everything. You give up what you seem to be in order to be fully what you are. You step into the fires of the unknown, and you are changed forever. Blue storm catalyzes and prepares your nervous system and circuitry for complete transformation. It's the electromagnetic storm of transmutation, the clearing and quickening of your physical, mental, emotional, and etheric bodies. As you become aligned with the descending energies and evolve in consciousness, your body's vibration is raised, becoming less dense. Your new alignment ignites the quickening process that transmutes the shadows of the past, including experiences, judgments, thought forms, and old patterns that you have held back. As you move into this new vibration
that have held you back.
that have held you back.
Have held you back.
Yes. As you move into this new vibration, you may feel off balance. In this transformational shift, you will feel unusual quickenings on every level of your being. You will sense emotional and physical imbalances and restructuring. Your issues will be catalyzed and brought out for you to address. By being present with your old patterns, you have a unique opportunity to access the energy of Blue Storm, which is experienced as the inner transformational storm and natural part of the process of vibrational shift and quickening. So we close with that and saying our blue flame prayer. Illuminate within me. Purify in innocence. Purify in power. Purify in strength. Purify in wisdom. Purify in truth. Purify in grace. All aspects of my being. I am that I am the blue fire. 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 We'll see you dancing and singing in the grid.